All right, let's jump right in. We usually think of art as, a luxury, something nice to have in a museum or a concert hall. But what if that's completely wrong? What if art is actually something way more fundamental? What if it's a core survival tool that we humans evolved to make sense of the world?
So that really brings us to the big question, right? Why do we need it? I'm not talking about just enjoying it or liking it, but why do we, on some deep level, actually need art to function? The answer, it turns out, is pretty mind-blowing.
This quote just nails it. The big idea here is that art isn't just decoration for our world. It's more like a form of psychological regulation. It's a tool we invented to push back against this incredibly powerful, universal force that's always trying to pull things apart. To really get what art is for, we first have to understand what it's fighting against. We have to understand the enemy. And that enemy, well, it has a name: entropy. Now, hold on, don't let your mind jump to your high school physics class. We're not talking about the heat death of the universe here. We're talking about entropy as a feeling. You know this feeling. It's that mental chaos, that information overload, that sense of fragmentation you get when you're scrolling through an endless feed. It is the background hum of chaos in modern life. So this is the absolute key distinction. Scientific entropy, yeah, that's about physical disorder out there in the cosmos. But human entropy, the kind art wages war against, that's all about the inner experience of chaos. It's that psychological feeling of just being overwhelmed. And art is our best tool for getting a handle on it. Okay, so let's make this real. Our first case study, music. Music is probably the clearest, most ancient example of how we humans use art to manage that internal tug of war between order and chaos. So how does music pull this off? Well, our brains are basically prediction machines. We're constantly trying to guess what comes next. A piece of music plays with this. It sets up an expectation, then it builds tension with a chord that feels unfinished. Maybe it even violates our expectation, goes somewhere surprising. And then, and this is the magic part, it gives us the resolution. That final chord clicks into place. And that feeling, that's a drop in informational entropy. It is pure, sweet relief. This is why you can think of music as a kind of simulator for the mind. It creates this small, safe, controlled universe where uncertainty is introduced, it's managed, and then it's resolved. It's like a workout for our brains, training us to handle the much bigger, much messier chaos of the real world. Okay, so from the world of sound, let's switch gears to the visual. How does a painting help us deal with the entropy of just looking at stuff? Think about it. The real world is visual chaos. There are infinite signals, colors, textures, movements, all hitting your eyes at once. It's unbelievably high entropy. An artist, they do the hard work for us. They look at all that noise, and they choose what's important. They clarify the signal and hand us this beautifully low entropy, meaningful version of reality. Oh, I love this phrase, perceptual predigestion. It basically means that looking at a painting is, in a very real way, easier than looking at the world. The artist has already filtered out all the noise and served you the important stuff. They've already reduced the entropy for you.
And this leads to such a profound idea. Science gives us theories and equations to reduce our uncertainty about how the world works. But art gives us songs and paintings that reduce our uncertainty about what it feels like to be a person living in that world. You see, they're really just two sides of the same human coin.
And now for the big one, maybe the most powerful entropy management technology we've ever invented, the story. Narrative is how we make sense of the biggest source of chaos there is, time itself. Because let's be honest, real life is a total mess. It doesn't have a neat little plot. Things don't happen in a clear beginning, middle, and end. Stuff happens for no reason at all. It's pure high entropy experience. And that's exactly where stories come in. This is such a wild psychological insight. Our minds are so desperate to reduce the chaos of just living that we'll gladly take a well-told story, even if it simplifies things, over the messy, incoherent truth. Narrative creates order. It gives us cause and effect. It gives meaning to the random events of our lives. It tames our existential entropy. But hang on a second. If art is really just about creating order, then what makes it any different from any other pattern we see in nature? This is a really important distinction we need to make. So think about this question for a second. A snowflake is perfectly ordered, right? It's this beautiful low entropy crystal. But we don't call it art. Why not? What's missing? Well, the answer is that a snowflake,
for all its perfect geometry, is missing one crucial ingredient. It's not just about the pattern. And there it is, meaningful. Art is order that has been specifically tuned for a human mind. It carries intention. It's a signal that another consciousness, another person, was here and shaped this experience for you. That feeling of connection is what separates a masterpiece from a crystal. Okay, so let's bring all this home. How does this ancient function of art apply to the unique, special kind of chaos we're all living in today?
I mean, come on, that is a perfect description of the internet, isn't it? Our digital world is engineered to maximize surprise, to keep us hooked with constant novelty, but to never give us that feeling of resolution. It's an endless scroll of tension with no release. It's designed to keep our minds in a constant state of high entropy anxiety.
And that leads us to this really powerful, practical idea. Engaging with art isn't a luxury anymore. In our world, it's a necessary act of mental hygiene. It's how we clean out all that informational static. It's how we regulate our own minds in a world designed to overwhelm them.
When you really zoom out, that's what art is. It's our collective pushback. It's the human-scale countercurrent that we all create together to stand firm against that overwhelming, chaotic drift of information. And that's the final, beautiful point. The goal was never to defeat entropy. That's impossible. It's a law of the universe. The goal of art is to help us carve out a little space where we can live with purpose and meaning inside of that chaos. It's not about escaping the world. It's about finding our place meaningfully within it.